In honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, we are proud to share this video interview with Michele Martin, Director of Technical Assistance at the Heldrick Center for Workforce Development and Director of the New Start Career Network, where she works with New Jersey job seekers to help them get back to work. What are some ways COVID-related job loss and unemployment have impacted the mental health and well-being of the workforce?
I think that, first of all, people have come into the unemployment situation, losing their jobs and so forth, with 2 years of accumulated things. We've been in a pandemic for 2 years. People have been under a lot of stress and strain. Some people may have lost their jobs at the beginning of the pandemic. Some people have lost them later, but there's already sort of a weight of emotional things that are going on. People may be dealing with sadness and anxiety and so forth. And then when you lose your job, that introduces a whole other level of uncertainty into things, where folks are really having to navigate. I'm already feeling depleted because it's 2 years into this. And then I have to figure out how I'm going to go about finding a new job. Obviously, there are a lot of financial stresses. There can be relationship stresses, lots of worries and so forth. And that really puts a strain on folks and on top of toxic stress that they may already be feeling.
What impact does the job search have on a person's mental health and well-being?
What we tend to see is that the longer a job search goes on, the more challenging it can be in terms of your emotional well-being and your mental well-being. People have to deal with the fact that they are not hearing anything back from potential employers. And then that makes them question themselves and makes them wonder, do they have the qualifications? Are they going to be able to find a new position? We also see that, folks really struggle with that feeling of rejection. We all want to feel like we belong, like we, are going to be able to get back to work quickly. And if it goes on for a long period of time and we're dealing with ongoing rejection, that also does a number on our identity and our self-esteem and so forth. And so the process of being unemployed, or the experience of being unemployed, is something that can be really challenging for folks. We also can lose a lot of the connections that we had to community, to a sense of being a part of something. And that also creates emotional stress and strain for people.
What are some strategies for building well-being during the job search process?
What I always recommend to job seekers is that they, first of all, understand and accept that they're going to be on an emotional roller coaster. There are going to be days where they feel really good and on top of things, and there are going to be days where they're questioning everything and feeling very down and so forth. And so just normalizing that there is a roller coaster that you're going to be experiencing, I think, is really important. I also think it's important for folks to find ways to build into their daily schedules things that support their well-being. Exercise is a big one, making sure that you're moving and so forth. There's also something called values-based behavior, where you're looking at, what are my values? What are the things that are the most important to me? And can I take actions towards those values every day? The more we engage in those kinds of activities, the support the things that we believe in, the better we tend to feel. The main thing, I think, is to really be mindful about building that into your life, paying attention to your emotional and mental well-being, trying to be proactive about those things. And the more that you do that, the more you're going to be able to ride that roller coaster of emotional experience.
What are some red flags to look out for that are indicators that mental or emotional well-being is interfering with the job search?
In the search, there are a couple of things that I suggest to people that they keep an eye out for. One is excessive procrastination, not a little bit of procrastination, we all procrastinate, but finding that you're constantly putting off activities that are related to the search. research actually shows that procrastination is not a time management issue. It is a mood management tool. We tend to procrastinate on those things that we're afraid will make us feel bad about ourselves. So if we've been having a bad experience with job search, for example, we're going to start to put off those activities that make us feel bad about ourselves. So look out for procrastination, and instead of treating it like it's a time management issue, try to understand what you might be trying to do with your mood by avoiding those kinds of activities that you know that are going to help you in the search. The other thing is looking out for excessive experiential avoidance. And by that, I mean, and this is related to the procrastination, that there are certain experiences that, because they cause us to question ourselves, or we are worried that we're going to feel bad about ourselves, we start to avoid those experiences. A big one that I see is people feeling very uncomfortable being in groups of folks who are currently working. A lot of unemployed people prefer to be around other unemployed people because they don't feel as activated about how long their search may be going on. And so looking at, am I avoiding things that I would not have avoided in the past, gatherings, for example, or those kinds of things. And again, how might it be helpful for me to look at my own, mood and what am I experiencing, and maybe try out and do those activities that I'm avoiding, because I can actually feel better once I do them.
What are some techniques or strategies that work for you to nurture your own well-being?
Well, I have a couple. One thing that I do just about every day is walk. I find that if I go for a long walk, I usually go for 45 minutes to an hour. That really helps me get kind of grounded back into my body. It's been tremendous for my back, which was bothering me a lot. The other big thing that I do is journal. And that's something that I've been doing for years. And in particular, really trying to be honest with myself in my journals about what are my emotional experiences that I'm having, what are things that may be going on within me that I can, just kind of get out on paper. It's a way to sort of get some things out. And in going back through my journals, I also end up seeing, oh, I've been here before and I come out of it again. Or, oh, here's a quote that I wrote down that was really meaningful to me that can be meaningful to me today. And so journaling and writing things out has been really helpful for me.